As promised, I have a reading for you, Spencer.
I can't wait.
From Moby Dick, which I have finished, by the way.
For a second time.
I would like to also just mention that most of the chapter titles are just Seinfeld episodes.
Oh, yeah?
The needle, the musket, the deck, the candle,
Yeah.
like just generic. Well, today's...
What's the deal with the...
What's the deal with sperm whales? Are they made of sperm? And if so, why are they called whales? I don't know. Chapter 94, A Squeeze of the Hand. I didn't know how much of this to read, so I'm going to read like the first page and a half. I think should suffice. I'm reading this because out of context, this might be the gayest thing I've ever heard. In context, it's
the
still,
second gayest thing I've ever heard.
it's close to the second gayest thing I've ever heard. It's so enjoyable. So the squeeze of the hand, Spencer. By the way, I'm probably going to mispronounce a lot of words because this is fucking Moby Dick. There's a lot of archaic words that don't need to be here. That whale of Stubbs, so dearly purchased, was duly brought to the Pequod's side, where all those cutting and hoisting operations previously detailed were regularly gone through. By the way, they were very rigorously detailed for 500 pages of fucking... I don't care about any of it, but they are detailed if you're interested. I'm just going to skip through a little bit. Blah, blah, blah. While some were occupied with this latter duty, others were employed in dragging away the larger tubs so soon as filled with the sperm, and when the proper time arrived, this same sperm was carefully manipulated ere going to the try-works of which Annan. It had cooled and crystallized the sperm. It had cooled and crystallized to such a degree that when, with several others, I sat down before a large Constantine's bath of it, the sperm, I found it strangely concreted into lumps, here and there rolling about in the liquid part. It was our business to squeeze these lumps back into fluid. It's not the gay part yet, Spencer. A sweet and unctuous duty. That's explained. Is exclamation point there. He really...
A duty.
A sweet and unctuous duty. No wonder that in old times this sperm was such a favorite cosmetic. Such a clearer. Putting in their face. Putting the sperm on their face. Oh. Sweet and unctuous duty. No wonder that in old times this sperm was such a favorite cosmetic. Such a clearer, such a sweetener, such a softener, such a delicious mollifier. After having my hands in it for only a few minutes, my fingers felt like eels and began, as it were, to serpentine and spiralize. As I sat there at my ease, cross-legged on the deck, after the bitter exertion at the windlass, under a blue tranquil sky, the ship under indolent sail, and gliding so serenely along, as I bathed my hands among those soft, gentle globules of infiltrated tissues. That's a sentence. Woven almost within the hour, as they richly broke to my fingers, and discharged all their opulence, like fully ripe grapes their wine, as I snuffed up that uncontaminated aroma, literally and truly like the smell of spring violets. I declare to you that for the time I lived as in a musky meadow, I forgot all about our horrible oath in that inexplicable sperm. I washed my hands and my heart of it. I almost began to credit the old Paracelsian superstition that sperm is of rare virtue in allaying the heat of anger while bathing in that bath. I felt divinely free from all ill will or pestilence or malice or any sort whatsoever. So this sperm's really calming him down. It's doing a wonder on him. Starts to get a little excited here. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. All the morning long I squeezed that sperm till I myself almost melted into it. I squeezed that sperm till a strange sort of insanity came over me, and I find myself unwittingly squeezing my co-laborers' hands in it, mistaking their hands for the gentle globules. Such an unbounding, affectionate, friendly, loving feeling this avocation beget, that at last I was continually squeezing their hands and looking up into their eyes sentimentally, as much as to say, "Oh, my dear fellow beings, why should we longer cherish any social exurbities, or know the slightest ill humor or envy? Come, let us squeeze hands all around. Nay, let us all squeeze ourselves into each other. Let us squeeze ourselves universally into the very milk and sperm of kindness." There's so much squeezing. Would that I could keep squeezing that sperm forever.
And this is just on the poop deck, or?
Nah, he said something about it. It's a deck. I don't think it's the poop deck. For now, since my many prolonged, repeated experiences, I have perceived that in all cases man must eventually lower, or at least shift, his conceit of attainable felicity, not placing it anywhere in the intellect of the fancy, but in the wife, the heart, the bed, the table, the saddle, the fireside, the country. Now that I have perceived all this, I am ready to squeeze case internally. In thoughts of the visions of the night, I saw long rows of angels in paradise, each with his hands in a jar of spermaceti.
Is that like plural for sperm?
Yeah, spermaceti is what they're squeezing. It's not actual. It's not like man sperm or even whale sperm. It is whale sperm, but not the stuff that makes babies. Spermaceti, which makes oil. It's the oil. But the way he's saying it, and back then they knew sperm was sperm.
Yeah.
He didn't have to use sperm. Like, he could have said spermaceti every time. He did not. That was a choice. Now, while discoursing of sperm, it behooves to speak of other things akin to it. And it goes on pretty gay for a long time. I'm not going to read more of that.
You're going to have to describe to the Patreon or the OnlyFans if you want more of that.
That is risque. I listened to a Moby Dick audio book on my podcast app that... Like, as I read the chapter, I would go listen to one of those. And when I came to that one, because when I read it, I was like, this is kind of gay. But when I heard the guy reading it, I was like, that's mega gay.
And it was like the guy very, like sternly and just, like, had a very, manly kind of like...
Not at all. He was sounded like he should have been reading that. So I enjoyed that thoroughly. That might have brought me back and bumped up my star rating for Moby Dick because of that chapter. When I initially read Moby Dick, I don't remember that chapter. I probably glossed over it. What was your favorite part of it?
Just all of it.
Him longingly looking into his friend's eyes as he's rubbing his hand in the sperm.
I like the bit about like how they were like, I wanted to squeeze them and them squeeze me and we universally squeeze each other. Like,
so when people say that Herman Melville might have had some homosexual tendencies, I think that's not too far off. They said this is possibly a love letter to Nathaniel Hawthorne. Someone he really admired. And I can see maybe Hawthorne being reading Moby Dick and going, ew.
Has he had anything other than like Moby Dick that he's been like really like, that you can point to as it, from, to read?
Bartleby the Scrivener. I think he has some other things, but that's like the main ones, Bartleby the Scrivener. I don't know what the fuck it's about. Everyone says you should read it. They said that should be your first Melville. I read Moby Dick.
I was just wondering like how maybe his other stuff is,
I would imagine.
Or if he had much, because, like, that's a very big book, so back then I could see that taking a while to, to write.
I'm pretty sure he made his living as a writer to a degree, so he probably wrote a lot of other stuff. Let me just look. He wrote Moby Dick.
Okay.
Typee, A Peep at Polynesian Life. Billy Budd. That's the other one. That was what he's famous for, Billy Budd. I think it's like a fun seafaring adventure. It's not about... soak it in sperm.
Oh.
Omu, a narrative of something or other. The Confidence Man, Redburn, Pierre or the Ambiguities, White Jacket, Marty, Israel Potter, Benito Sereno, The Plaza Tales. There's a bunch more, but it's all stuff nobody ever really heard of. Where's Bartleby the Scrivener? You think that'd be on here? Battle Pieces, Works Herman Melville.
Do you think you'll read anything else of his?
Not one work.
No?
I don't want to, even if it's a short story. Bartleby the Scrivener is a short story. That's why it's not a novel. You folks could do with that knowledge, whatever you want to do and take away from Moby Dick.
Like turn out the lights, light some candles, play some nice music while you listen to Caleb read those pages.
If you want to read Moby Dick for no other reason than to read about sperm, you could do that because there's a lot of it. There's a lot. Like I said at the beginning of that chapter about the preceding chapters detailing something or other. It's all details, baby. I think we mentioned on here before the meme where it's like the dumb idiot face guy is like, Moby Dick's about whales. And then the fucking pseudo lit bro intellectual is like, actually Moby Dick is about religion. And he goes into this big diatribe. And then the enlightened guy at the other end, he says, Moby Dick is about whales. It's about whales. That's what the fuck it is. You want to talk about a book about whales? This is a book about whales. And you know what? Can I spoil the ending for you?
Sure.
The ending...
I'll find it. I'll never read it.
Yeah, you're never going to read it. The ending actually had a really fucking cool line. I just want to read the last line. Oh my God, there's so many illustrations of boats and stuff too. I read those as well. So it's actually in the epilogue.
Okay.
Spoiler, everyone but Ishmael dies in Moby Dick. The boat goes down due to Ahab's madness, and the whale's just like, yeah, fuck you guys, and kills them. That's all that happens. But it, which is kind of a cool scene, is there is a scene or a chapter in here where Queequeg is really sick and he thinks he's dying, or they all think he's dying. So he asks for a coffin to be made. So the carpenter on board makes him a coffin.
Out of what?
They have wood. They have all kinds of shit. They even have a forge on there.
Oh.
They like because Ahab keeps breaking his fucking leg on Moby Dick, so he keeps getting new legs made for him. So the guy makes Queequeg this coffin, but then Queequeg gets better and he ends up just using it to put his shit in. So after the boat sinks, Ishmael's the only one that doesn't get sucked down into the vortex that the boat made or whatever, and he doesn't drown. He's just floating there, and up pops the coffin, so he uses it as a buoy. A couple days before the final chapter, they run into a boat called the Rachel, who's looking for the guy. I think it might have even been Moby Dick. Some of that captain's crew got lost, and one of them was his kid. So he loses his kid. Well, that boat ends up coming back and finding Ishmael, picks Ishmael up, and then the final line of this is... the unharming sharks, they glided by as with padlocks on their mouths. The savage sea hawks sailed with sheathed beaks. On the second day, a sail drew nearer, and picked me up at last. It was the devious cruising Rachel. That, in her retracing search after her missing children, only found another orphan. Thought that was a cool line. He found another orphan. Him being the orphan.
You know what that just made me... Could you imagine, especially back then, being like, you're stuck there, you know, you're using it as buoy, whatever, and you see off in a distance a boat, but you're like, that boat's still like 3 days away.
Yeah. So that would suck ass. The one thing I noticed about Herman Melville's writing in Moby Dick was that he uses a lot of alliteration. He even came up just in that little chapter, or that little line I read. He uses a lot of alliteration. He does it well, but sometimes it's like, Jesus, how many S words are we going to have in a row, dude? So he definitely liked doing the alliteration. It makes for an interesting read out loud, but mainly I just like the sperm talk. That's my favorite. And some of the nautical nonsense was fun.
Yeah.
Like the harpoon talk. Oh, baby. I could listen to you wax philosophical on harpoons and their meaning all day. The chapter about the color white. Oh, my God. I was enlightened. Someone said that was their favorite chapter when I posted about that in the Classic Lit group. And I just want to say, fuck you. That's what I wanted to say to him.
You have terrible taste.
Your favorite chapter you think was the most greatest thing ever was the chapter on the color white because it hits it. Oh, the philosophical nature. People are reading too much into this. This guy talking about fucking boats and whales. It's not that goddamn deep. Not like the ocean that Moby Dick swims through.
Yeah.
But anyway, folks, we have a recap episode. Not a recap, a reading year in review. We're going to be talking about the books we read this year. Maybe spoiling some of them, but since we read a lot, we'll probably try to go through fairly quickly.
Yeah.
So anyway, stick around for that, and we will be back momentarily. You are listening to the Drunken Ben Writing Podcast. I'm yours, Caleb James. With me, as always, Spencer, the Nantucket Nincompoop Church. Nincompoop?
Nincompoop.
Poof.
Yeah.
It's a word I don't
Nincompoop.
Jumping Jehoshaphat. I think it's not poop. I should have probably made you something with sperm. But we used Seattle last week.
Yeah.
So what's another S? We used San Francisco before.
San Antonio?
Yeah, it's a double. Doesn't work as good.
Yeah.
It's a single.
San Andreas?
That's also a double. Quit picking doubles. San Andreas is 2 words. Fucking Hebe. The Saskatoon. We use Saskatoon. Fucking the shit sucking sperm.
Schenectady? Isn't that
Schenectady. We use Schenectady. Who cares? You already had a name. You're Nincompoop of Nantucket.
No.
I feel like I used Nantucket recently too because I've been reading Moby Dick. Spencer, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I guess I should probably go first since I have the smaller list.
Yeah. How many books did you read this year?
About 15. There's a couple short stories and stuff in there too, but...
Favorite book of the year. We'll try to do this in an more interesting way than normally do.
You want to do favorite first?
Yeah, just name your favorite book, then you can go through favorite, least favorite, then go through the list, and then, whatever.
Okay. Oh, man.
It's tough, right?
Right. I would probably say... I kind of almost want to go with If It Bleeds, because it's 4 novellas in there from Stephen King,
Mm-hmm.
and they all were pretty good. Least favorite, I would probably go with. Oh, man, this is tough because like I read like a lot of stuff I read that I like. I'm not like you. Will just read random things and just be like, oh, that was.
Well, you don't have if my least favorite. It doesn't have to be something you don't like.
Right.
Just the one that maybe didn't leave the biggest mark or something you won't want to read again or something.
I would probably put a toss up between either like a cop-out answer or maybe be like The Monkey, the short story.
Yeah.
Or what I just finished was like Girl on the Porch. Like we talked about it. Like it's fine. It's pretty good, but like
not very memorable.
Especially after
I don't even remember the killer, and I read it like last year or something.
Especially
this year actually.
Especially with comparing it to like the Boogeyman books.
Yeah.
It's not as great. Like I said, it's a good when we were messaging about it, it's a good like book to have like if you're waiting in the waiting room for an appointment or on a plane or something like that. It's good for something like that. So yeah, that would probably be the two kind of least, probably.
By the way, I just want to mention because I'm going through my list just to see if I can get a favorite here. I must have had like a self-hatred streak going on because some of these books are fucking hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
All right, so I guess I'm gonna start from the beginning of the year as I read these and just go down. So I started out with Shooting at Midnight. It's the fourth book in Greg Rucka's Kodiak series. Is about bounty. The series is about like a bodyguard, and each novel is a fucking thing that he got into. But what was interesting about this one is that it's the first book in the series that it mainly was the point of view of one of the other side characters. Because strangely, the book series it's all it's pretty much like first person, so you're getting everything from Kodiak's point of view and from like how he's seeing things and stuff. So like I said, to get it from somebody else's point of view was pretty interesting. And then the second thing, it's technically a graphic novel, but with the subject matter and and how it was written, I counted it that they call they.
You normally don't I'll put the graphic novels in mine.
Yeah,
but you don't usually add that because you read so many.
Yeah, and
your list would be in the hundreds probably.
Right. So, but They Call Us Enemy.
Yeah.
By George Takei.
Which is more memoir. That's also on mine. Yeah. That's a book club book.
Good. Very informative and
piss you right off a little bit.
Oh, piss you right the fuck off, especially now. Like you're just like, oh, why is nobody else like I'm actually kind of surprised it's not a banned book.
Yeah, it might be soon.
Right,
it probably is in Florida.
Yeah. Then we went short story The Monkey because we went and saw the movie, the movie was okay. I liked the story kind of more than the movie.
Both were a solid C- for me. They were entertaining enough.
Right. And then I went with the first Council. It's a Brad Meltzer book, and so he does one
of those courtroom drama books,
political kind of thriller. One of the new guys working in the White House. He has it opens up with him. He's dating the first daughter, who she's she's over. I think she's like 20 something or something, but she's the first daughter to the White House, and she's driving and she shakes the tail that's following them on the date, and they get into some shenanigans, and he tries to take some of the heat for it, and then it just snowballs into this big conspiracy kind of thing.
Right.
But it was pretty good. I liked it. Confederacy of Dunce.
Mm.
Which is very funny and...
See, I thought that would have been maybe your top book.
I was thinking about it, but
You remember how many times you call people Mongoloid?
Yes.
That was up there for me. It's not my top, but it was close.
It was one of those, but it was just I enjoyed writing it, but I don't know. It's how, me, my Stephen King stuff. I just have a, But yeah, one of the funnier books ever, that I've read and stuff. I say great story, terrible story behind, behind it, but it's it kind of helps maybe put some stuff in perspective as if you're your own writing, journey and stuff like that.
And you can, folks, if you want to hear more about it, you can listen to our Book of the Month episode we did.
Yeah, a lot of these are stuff we talked about on the podcast. So if you want a more in-depth look, you can
search the titles in your podcast. That'll probably come up.
We from a very difficult German name that Russian?
I think it's Russian.
Well, it's a very difficult name to say.
Hold on, let me see if I can look it up. I remember I couldn't pronounce it.
That's what I'm saying. And I was like, if I remember you having trouble with it. I was like, well, I'm not gonna be able to say it right.
Yeah, it is We by Yevgeny Zamyatin.
Yeah.
Yamyatin. That guy. I actually picked that out for you because I thought you would like it.
Yeah,
you did.
I did like it.
It was a really cool sounding story.
Yeah, it's basically all kind of like the precursor for like 1984 and Brave New War.
It came out like the 1920s.
Yeah,
1921.
But yeah, so it's like it's that kind of like big government surveilling and everybody and really, controlling people's rights and stuff like that, and the main character dealing with that and going, trying to navigate through that stuff, and his slowly kind of like turn against it, which I think you should read it sometime this year.
I'll get to it.
It's not that big of a book, but
maybe I'll do that when we do 1984 this year.
Yeah. And then I went with because of you, the October Country, which is a collection of Ray Bradbury stories. Mm-hmm. Which most of them were really good. Even some of the ones where I was just like, I didn't really feel it, but they
made you think. And
it made me think.
Excellent.
Yeah, like there wasn't a story, like even a story that I wasn't 100% into. There wasn't ever like a story that I had trouble reading. And then that If It Bleeds, like I said, it's a collection of 4 novella-length stories from Stephen King.
Is that the one with the Life of Chuck?
Yeah, it has the Life of Chuck in it. It has If It Bleeds, which would be one of the Holly Gibney stories if you're were into her stuff. Mr. Harrigan's Phone. It's about it's kind of like a weirdly kind of ghost story. And then The Rat, which is one of his kind of writer stories, dealing with writers and stuff like that. And then I went to you guys were able to tell we're getting into October because I read the Medusa Zone.
Pauly Cooley did a Book of the Month episode.
We did a Book of the Month episode. It was pretty good considering everything. That we don't know a lot about boating and stuff like that.
I do now.
Right, yeah.
I do now. Actually, if I reread that, I'd be like, actually, Mr. Cooley, what you should have said was, because I fucking know everything about boating from
not enough semen.
Not enough spermaceti.
And then the Boatmore Butcher, which we also did.
That was a Horror of the Month.
Yeah, which we
also November, I think.
Also did a story on, which was pretty cool serial killer story. Deathbed Confessionals.
That was our October Horror of the Month.
Yep, which is a collection of stories by A.D. Joan. All of them pretty cool.
Also has been on the podcast before.
Yep, and creepy and stuff like that. The next is a short story, Blue Rose, by I forgot to write his name. What? Oh shit.
Blue Rose?
Yeah. He's a big horror guy. Fuck.
Is it a Cosby book? Cosby? Oh no, I remember. That's that little one we got, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I got. Yeah, it's one I got at one of the bookstores we went to.
It was a short story, right?
Yeah. He did some stuff with Stephen King too.
Not Tremblay.
Yeah, he's actually good. He passed away though.
Oh, what the fuck is his name? I don't know. It's not coming up here. Is it called The Blue Rose?
Maybe. I just wrote down Blue Rose.
No, this says K. Cordell.
It's like Strub or something.
Peter Straub?
Peter Straub, yes. God damn.
I knew because I remember you getting it. I was like, oh, you haven't read any Straub before, neither have I.
Yeah. And it was it's like a brother does a hypnotist to his other younger brother, and it just makes him do fucked up shit. Definitely wouldn't. Like I said, it's first I've ever read of him. I definitely would want to read one of his novels and stuff. I would want to check more out of him. And then Short Stay in Hell and The Divine Farce, which we just did an episode on.
We just did a December book. Was it December's book of the month? Had to be.
Yeah.
This month's December. Yeah, that just came out.
Yeah, so a couple episodes before this one. If you missed it, go back and check that if you want more of our thoughts on it.
Both books about hell.
Yeah. And then I just said the Girl on the Porch by Richard Chismar. Again, it's a fine book, but just, compared to some of his other stuff, doesn't...
More of a novella than a book.
A really short story, I mean.
Yeah.
And then I'm also in the process, I probably won't get to it, but I'm hoping to get a big chunk of the Sugar Man done before the end of the year by
Sugar Man.
By the one Nicholas Obegon.
We decided to start it earlier. It was going to be our January book of the month. Still was going to be our January book of the month. But we decided just get a jump start. Mainly because I was looking at my big book list of the things I'm gonna read. I'm like, I should probably get, because if I go into even the Jack London collection, I'm gonna get stuck reading that for a month.
Right.
All right, Spencer. Just to condense the episodes, how about before I give my list, you mentioned just a couple books you plan to read this coming year?
Well, so like I said,
we talked about 1984.
1984.
Animal Farm, you definitely got to read.
Yeah, and which I have, which will be easy. Well, that was almost gonna be what I read instead of Girl on the Porch, but I just kind of wanted something that would maybe not aggravate. Yeah.
Wait till the new year to get aggravated.
right, yeah. This is holiday time. I'm trying to be happy during the holidays.
Yeah.
But like every year, I try to get one of like the books in that Kodiak series by
Meltzer?
No.
Meltzer, Rucker.
Rucker, and then the Brad Meltzer. I always try to read one of his book a year. I want to get back on to because I think this is like 2 years in a row now that I haven't read any Vonnegut.
Yeah.
I want to get some Vonnegut in there.
Also, digression, we didn't read anything for Christmas.
No.
Normally we try to read nothing. Last year I read Christmas Carol was really good, but after that I'm like, what the fuck else can I read?
Yeah. Try to get some Stephen King in there, maybe a Joe Hill, because I'm getting a little backed up on him too.
I think you should read the fucking chirpy bird, Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, I should probably read that. And like I said, I'm sure there will be also many things because, we have our thing whenever you read a Stephen King book, I got to read something.
You still got to read like 3 more books.
Yeah.
I read a good bit of Stephen King this year.
Yeah.
So I'll pick those for you.
Right. So, I don't know. I try to leave it a little bit open, a little bit,
Yeah.
Like I said, I have a copious amount of comics and stuff in there too. So that's always fun.
So according to Goodreads, I have read 50 books this year. My initial goal was 15. I've read 50.
Why was it so low? Because you thought you were going to have like bigger stuff?
I don't remember. I think because I was going to read Ulysses finally, and I was like, that's going to take me 6 months. But it didn't. So it initially said I had 54, but as we were talking off air, it categorized a bunch of like 4 Kindle books, or it said Kindle. It just said Kindle, no author available. And I couldn't figure out what they were. And then I realized they were like previews for books I was going to read, or like stuff we got into. Like your campfire stories. I was just looking at the free download just to see like,
what it might look like and stuff.
Yeah. And for some reason, when you do that, it goes onto your read books. Even though I didn't obviously read it, I just looked at it. So I just deleted those. So 50 books. So I started the year off with They Called Us Enemy by George Takei. Or Takei. You already covered that. I thought it was all right. For some reason, this doesn't give my star ratings on these.
Wow.
Unless I click on it. They must have changed the shitty Goodreads. But what I was actually reading, which I think I started maybe November or December, so it bled over. So the novel I was reading when I did, because that was just started, like you said, graphic novel. Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have to click on it because why doesn't it fucking...
But you really like that. You have that up there, don't
Yeah.
you, in your like, favorite books?
Yeah. I don't know why I forgot this. I read the Oliver Reddy translation. It's that mainly just because I like that cool cover.
Yeah.
Which now it's not fucking out, bro.
Well, I was going to say that's about the Moby Dick. Your Moby Dick cover is cool. Like when you were reading it, I was just staring at the big whale's eye on the back cover, like not paying attention to you.
It's the same edition. It's the Penguin Classics Deluxe editions. I've been getting a bunch of those because I like that funky paper.
I do like the funky paper.
Yeah, I got the Grapes of Wrath in that too. That's another one I'm probably going to read this year. Hold on, I have to read fucking...
Oh, yeah, I got to get some more Steinbeck in me too.
Yeah. So, yeah, you definitely do get that. Bryce messaged me, should I read... The Winter of Our Discontent right now.
And you told him no.
I said definitely if you want to hang yourself.
Like, do you have any high arching thing that you should probably not, like if you do, don't read it.
It's in the fucking name, dude. Wait until spring. After Crime and Punishment, which I thought you read, or no, obviously not this one. Starlight Pulp Review 5.
Oh, yes.
Not the one I was in, but number 5. I read that before I submitted, and I really enjoyed it, and that's another reason why I submitted. It was one of those things, mainly because David Scott Hay was in it. That's why I got it. He's been on the podcast as well. Also, fucking February book. I'm going to get it as soon as it comes out. For both of us, Butcher of Nazareth, his new book.
Oh, okay.
So that's when we're going to do a book of the month on. But yeah, Starlight Pulp Review 5, excellent. Then I moved on to As I Lay Dying by William Faulkner. Not as good as The Sound and the Fury. It was okay. Surprisingly, the James Franco movie was just as boring, but it wasn't. It was all right. I think I gave it 3 or 4 stars, but it wasn't my cup of tea necessarily. Batman: The Black Mirror by Scott Snyder. I don't remember if I like that or not. Probably not. Will o' the Mill is a Robert Louis Stevenson short story, and it was in this fancy little collection thing I got with some other story. Excellent. Great little story. 5 stars. Next up, the big one, James Joyce's Ulysses. As I documented on the podcast, I read that. I read essays on each chapter as I finished the chapters, and I read the audio dramatization from a BBC 80s broadcast thing on my podcast app for each chapter. Surprisingly, I really fucking liked it, and it bumped my reading level up so much that I could read about sperm without blinking an eye now. Ulysses is definitely one of those ones that's not for most people.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. The Orchard Keeper by Cormac McCarthy. That's about some bootlegging. Fucking weird. Not recommended for people like you, Spencer. No, not who might want to get into Cormac McCarthy. I mean, you read The Road, so that's where I would probably get people to go. But if you want to read Cormac McCarthy, see what he's about, you're like, oh, The Orchard Keeper's first book. It's short.
Duh.
It's fucking like As I Lay Dying from Faulkner. That's what it's like. It's like one of these fucking hard to follow stories. I really liked it, but as someone who likes hard literature, I could say that it's not for everybody. Then we read A Confederacy of Dunces by John Kennedy Toole. Excellent. I forgot to mention what my favorite of the year.
Oh, yeah.
I have too many. I'll have to go through the fucking list first because I don't remember all these books. So Confederacy of Dunces, that would be up there. It's not my favorite of the year, but it's close. The Mongoloid Talk. It's one of those ones I always heard. People, you should read it. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't sound that interesting. Fucking hilarious.
Right.
I loved it. A Cannibal Story and Other Stories by Ashley Hatter. He has a short story collection.
Oh, I didn't realize he had that.
I think I forgot to send that to you, but really good. I really enjoyed that.
I'll have to check that out then.
Yeah, it was. I think I had to get a Kindle. That's why you probably didn't, because it was a Kindle. Because I would have bought the print version. I always buy my friends' print versions if I can. Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. That's probably my biggest disappointment of the year. Because not that I had super high hopes for that, but between that and Haunted, I'm not a Palahniuk fan.
Now, do you think because they do say pretty similar, like the movie and the book? Do you think maybe that's why, because you've seen the movie? And
I
stuff
like the movie. I don't really like his writing style, honestly. I don't know. It didn't. I mean, maybe if I read something else from him that wasn't something I knew, but
I thought maybe now, because you keep on hearing like people using like twisting that book around for stupid manosphere shit now, but which is like the exact opposite of what the fucking book's about.
I mean, it's a fine book, but it was one of those ones where I read it very quickly and it was just like, it left no impact. Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1, Married with Children by Jonathan Hickman. I don't remember my feelings on that.
Yeah, you didn't. You was
like I said, I don't know why. When it shows the star ratings, that always helps because I go, oh yeah, I liked it. Why did I like it? But when it shows nothing, I don't remember.
When it comes to the graphic novel, there's a good chance that Caleb didn't like it.
Most of the time, I'm just kind of indifferent on it. Not that I didn't like it. I'm just like middle of the road. The Girl on the Porch by Richard Chismar. You already covered that. Good enough. A fine book, but not anything to write home about. The Enfield Gang Massacre by Chris Condon. That was a graphic novel Western. I really liked the art. The story left much to be desired.
Is that Western
Tim
thing?
recommended. It was one of his recommendations. Yeah. Like I said, it was interesting, but the story was just, I don't know, it seemed kind of generic to me. The Gate by Natsume Soseki. I only have a few of his books left, so I've been like parsing them out like one a year maybe. I really enjoyed it. Very good book. It was, again, such as Sozeki's style. It's more of like, it's one of those ones where it's like, if you need to be calm for a while, read that book. If you need something that's gonna like relax you and just put you in like a Zen mind frame, that's the kind of book it is. And then I immediately fucking go the opposite direction with In the Miso Soup by Ryu Murakami, which is just a really, really fucked up book. That was a Nicholas Obregon recommendation, though we read Corner Locker Babies before he ever recommended Ryu, but it's about like an American in Japan he's just doing, like, he lights a guy's face on fire with a lighter. It's fucked up, very short. I recommend you read all the Murakami books this year because it'll only take you a month to read 3 of them. Next up, that must have been a Japanese streak. Acts of Worship, 7 Stories by Yukio Mishima. This was not my favorite collection of his. It was okay. Did you read it or try to read this one?
No, I don't think so.
What's the one you were trying to read? Because you didn't finish it.
Oh man, yeah. Oh shit, yeah. I forgot about that. I gotta find that so I can either finish it or just get it back to you. So I'm not,
It couldn't have been this one then, because I still have this one. It must have been the other one. Yeah, I forget the name of the other one. The other one was better. The one you have is better. Then I read The Long Walk by Richard Bachman, Stephen King. Excellent. I really, really like that. Great novel.
I see like that. So I forgot to mention mine. So like I listened to both that and the Running Man, and I didn't count them just because like because we don't want to get into that hot water again, but because I've already previously read them, and if I would have reread them, I would have counted them again. But since I listened to it and have already read it, I didn't count them on the list.
Fair enough. Here's a really you want to talk about fucking comics, Spencer? Here's one I liked. Do a Power Bomb by Daniel Warren Johnson.
Oh, see, I thought that one you was like, man.
It was fun.
Okay.
You were right. I didn't think it was that good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the Macbeth one.
Yeah.
Which I think was last year.
Yeah, that was like at least a year ago.
Do a Power Bomb was a C- for Caleb. Wasn't that good? Piercing by Ryu Murakami. Fucked up, man.
I remember you talking about that one.
Another fucked up. The whole book is about this guy who has this urge to stab his baby and his infant in the belly or in the eye or something with a fucking ice pick. Doesn't, that you know of yet. The ending's really fucked up, so maybe he does. Here's another one that might have been my biggest, probably my second biggest disappointment of the year. Killer, Come Back to Me, The Crime Stories of Ray Bradbury. He wrote these when he was in his early 20s, when he was learning to like really become a writer. These are all his early stories. They're all crime stories. Like you said about the October Country, which I read last year, I think. All of them are well written.
Mm-hmm.
The difference being the crime stories, the ones that didn't hit, I felt really didn't hit. They just weren't that interesting.
So you've read more Ray Bradbury than me. Do you feel like maybe like because like that's one of his things, like he can pretty much write like anything.
Yeah.
But do you feel like maybe like the crime stuff is his least?
No, because the some of the stories that he wrote a little later were really good.
Okay.
It was just because he was
so young.
20, yeah, he was just young. That's all. Because you could see like he was still trying to establish his style. Well, he even says in the introduction about writing them, he was like, a lot of these weren't that good compared to whatever. Obviously, writing one short story every week for 40 years, at some point you're going to get good at it.
I would hope so.
Next up was Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. I really enjoyed it. It's too brute. He got stabbed.
No, don't you have most of the Shakespeare stuff done too? Or at least the main ones?
No? I read Macbeth. I read Hamlet, Julius Caesar, and the Fairies in the Woods one, Midsummer Night's Dream. I still have Othello, King Lear maybe, or one of the King books, and something up. He has like fucking 800,000. Like you look at the big collections, they're huge. Like you said, some of the main one, the most famous ones, I've read those, but there's a lot I haven't read yet. He's one I try to read a couple times a year, but I have to be in the mood for that. Next,
have to have one of those big neck round thingies on while you read it.
And by the way, this might come up near the end of the year on this list, but a lot, like throughout the whole year, I'm always reading poetry collections. But the way I read those is sometimes one poem a night, or sometimes I take a break too and don't read for a couple weeks. So it might seem like at the end of this, I probably read a bunch of poetry collections or something.
And you just finished them.
I finished them, and they spread out over the year. The Life of Chuck by Stephen King, I thought it was okay. Just like the movie, I thought it was okay. The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. It's like a self-help book, disguised as an adventure story. It was a fine adventure story, but it wasn't that good. I don't know why all the hype about it. It's like one of the most famous books ever. I disagree. Next up, this is the one I was in, but I actually did read it. Starlight Pulp Review 6. I bet you read this one.
I read up into your story, so I had like a couple. So I had a couple stories left. That's why I didn't write it down.
Excellent. Not just because I'm in it. It was actually excellent.
All the what I did read of it, most of the stories were really good.
This was one of my surprise indie picks of the year. I always try to pick an indie pick that's not just for the podcast, just someone I either follows me on Instagram or someone I just happen to see. Beyond the Frost Cold Sea by Madeline Crane. This was a sword and sorcery story with some homoerotic elements. I really, really liked this. It was very interesting. It was done very well, and she has another book in this series, maybe even 3 now. But I wanted to pick up the next one, the sequel. She was in, if I'm not mistaken, that Strange Days magazine I was in.
Oh, okay.
She had a story that was like right before my story, and it was kind of written in a similar way. And I was like, ooh, I liked, not just because it was written like mine. I was like, ooh, I really like her writing style. That's what made me look into her. I actually messaged her like, hey, I really liked your story. Then she followed me, and I saw she had books, and then I eventually got her book and read it, and it was really good. Next up, Hunter S. Thompson's Screwjack. Not great.
No.
It's just weird fucking short stories. They were, if you want some trippy shit that's going to take you maybe 45 minutes to read, I would say check it out, but it wasn't very good. So the first big poetry collection I finished this year, and this one I think I was reading for like a year and a half, 2 years. Antique, well, this is the antique version. Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. This is the complete Franklin Library edition. So it's the full Leaves of Grass.
Okay.
This motherfucker loved America.
Yeah.
He loved democracy. He loved the fucking natural world that we don't have anymore in America. He loved all the things that America does not represent anymore. He was also very gay. Like, he had a lot of man loving. This is a very gay-centric episode. I like these old gay guys from the 1800s because they seemed pretty open. Like, they didn't seem like they were hiding their gayness too much. Unlike the fucking poor folks that had to live in the UK, they got arrested for it. Like, what was his face? The portrait of Oliver Wilde, Oscar Wilde.
Oh, yeah.
Oscar Wilde, he got arrested for indecency for being a gay man. But not so much for Mr. Walt Whitman. People were like, he's gay. And he's like, nah, I ain't gay. And then they read his poetry. Like, dude, this is about a man. He's like, yes, it is.
I'm not gay. You're gay.
You're gay for reading it. I really liked the song for myself, which is like the most famous one. And some of the other ones, like, Oh, Captain, My Captain, which you might remember from Dead Poets Society.
Yeah.
Not Robots. Dead Poets Society. Oh, Captain, My Captain. I think it's one of those ones that you should read over a 15 to 20 year span.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you read that much stuff about like democracy and shit, you just can't enjoy it, I feel. It's like, it's too much. Like, I have this Langston Hughes poetry collection I've been meaning to get back to, but it's so fucking big. And I remember when I started reading it, it was like, oh, I'm like not even getting it because I read so, like, you can't read 15 poems in a row in one like sitting and then just think you're going to get the poems, you know? It just doesn't work like that. But it was enjoyable enough. Next up, this might be up there with my book of the year. I'm not sure yet. All the Pretty Horses by Cormac McCarthy. I thought this was going to be one I didn't like because it was like his big, it's what made him famous because it was his big commercial success and everyone's like, oh, this is such an accessible, easy to read book and it's great. No, it was still Cormac McCarthy. So I really enjoyed it. It was really good. This one might be my favorite book of the year. This would be a surprise one. You're not going to guess this one.
Okay.
Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Fucking delightful.
Yeah.
Delightful. It was a startling delight. I did not know that I would fancy it so. I sat there and drank my cup of tea and read about the little urchins in the fucking secret garden. They were little asshole kids. I hated those kids. I wanted them all to die of the plague. I hated them kids. And I remember when I was a kid watching the movie, I hated them kids. You, Colin, you're a little whiny asshole. The only one I like is the one boy that talks to the animals. I like that kid. But the other ones, fucking assholes. But you know what? At the end, because they're rich, they get everything they want.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just written in such a, it's again like the Natsume Soseki story, or like The Gate. It's just one of those ones you read and it's like, oh, this calms me down. You know, this is just like a nice, it's like when sometimes I'll just listen to jazz when I'm driving because I don't want to fucking rage out and crash my car into a tree on purpose. So I like reading stuff like that once in a while. And then what I have to do is I have to follow it up with the opposite, the complete debauchery.
Yeah.
So whereas I read The Gate and I was like, okay, now I need Ryu Murakami to bring me down to the gritty streets of Tokyo and murder me in my sleep. Or in the gutter, rather. I was in a secret garden and I was enjoying life in that garden. And it was beautiful, and I let the winter fade away into a beautiful spring. And then I was like, okay, that was good. Now let me go down to Puerto Rico and drink and do drugs and fuck hookers and be a dirty, dirty degenerate. The Rum Diary by Hunter S. Thompson. I did not like it, as you remember, for like the first half.
Yeah.
I was like, this is stupid. I think I don't like, it's like, it has like, it's like Fear and Loathing without the charm.
Okay.
But then it picks up and I enjoyed it. So ultimately, it did enjoy the Rum Diary. This did, like, I think this came out after his death.
Probably.
They published it after his death. So it was one of those ones, like, I don't think it was supposed to actually ever come out. I think Johnny Depp put it out, but it's enjoyable. It's worth a read, but yeah, definitely not Fear and Loathing. I probably should have read Fear and Loathing on the campaign trail first.
Right.
All right. You wanted my least favorite book of the year?
Okay.
This was a did not finish.
Okay.
Surprisingly. This was also the biggest disappointment of the year. Knight's Gambit by William Faulkner. William Faulkner's crime stories. You remember I got like more than halfway through and I was just like, I can't fucking read it anymore.
Yeah,
I don't fucking care about this. Mysteries, but they're not really they're mysteries, but they're just solved by a fucking pompous lawyer in like fucking Mississippi or Missouri or wherever he's from.
That's bad because like you like me, you're a sucker for like a good crime mystery story kind of.
It's just like if you had the crime stories, but you just wanted to focus on all the boring shit, not the fun crime bits. Stupid asshole. Primordial by Jeff Lemire. What was that about again?
That was the when they sent like the dog into space and all that stuff.
I was surprisingly did not think it was that good. What I did think was good was Pet Sematary by Stephen King. I enjoyed Pet Sematary. Depressing, which I knew it was going to be, but too long.
Yeah.
I mean, I never read it before, but after watching like both movies and stuff, I didn't think it was going to be so fucking long, but it was. Then we did Deathbed Confessionals by Eddie Jones. Obviously, I enjoyed that. The Medusa Zone by Paulie Cooley. I love boats. The Boatmore Butcher by L. Stevenson. I love butchering. Selected Poems by W.B. Yeats. I really enjoyed his poems. They say he might be one of the greatest poets of all time. I agree. I really like Yeats' poetry. This one, surprise pick of the year, The Rime of the Ancient Mariner and Other Poems by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. I really like The Rime of the Ancient Mariner, not so much the other poems. The other ones, they lacked the epicness of the big rhyming.
Yes.
It's not rhyme as in rhyme, it's rhyme as in R-I-M-E. Does that mean? I don't fucking know. But in the Ancient Mariner's telling his tale, being cursed at sea.
Yeah.
It's interesting enough. This was a very controversial pick for me. Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. As you know, and I discussed it on the podcast, I had some people that did not like my opinions on it, but then I ended up ultimately liking the book, but hated it at the same time. Interesting pick. This was a pick that this one was Nick Obregon recommendation.
Okay. Oh, okay. I remember.
Laidlaw by William McIlvanney. Or McIlvanney. It is the first in the tartan noir style. I believe he was the first to write it. I think he created tartan noir, which is like Scottish crime noir. It was pretty good. I struggled a little bit with the super Scottishness because a lot of people in it spoke and like it was written as if you're listening to a Scottish guy who's been drinking. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck he's saying. And then there's a lot of slang in it. There's, but it was fun. I'm definitely gonna check out more in the series. And then because I felt I might as well torture myself a little more, I read Audition by Ryu Murakami. Again, just fucked up. Dude likes to write fucked up stories that don't. It's weird because like how Haruki Murakami will write these stories that seem very mundane and then has like weird shit happen. That's how Ryu Murakami's stories kind of unfold. It's like, oh, it seems just kind of like mundane, but it's a cool idea. But then it's just like, why is it so goddamn gross? Why is it so gruesome?
Why are terrible things happening?
Why is everything bad? I read The Running Man by Richard Bachman, aka Stephen King. I can't remember if I liked it more than the movie. I don't really like the movie. I think about the same.
Yeah.
I really liked the novel. I really liked the movie. The Wasteland and Other Poems by T.S. Eliot. Fucking hated it. I liked one poem out of the whole collection. Hated it. I read the fucking thing.
Hated it.
I read it enough to say, hated it. I read it enough so that anybody asked me about T.S. Eliot, I can say, fuck that guy. Hated it. Ice Cream Man Volume 1, Rainbow Sprinkles by W. Maxwell Prince.
That's that horror anthology.
Did not like it. It was maybe okay, but it was just kind of dumb. Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck and The Divine Farce by Michael S.A. Graziano. We just did a book of the month on it, so listen to that, but I liked both those a lot. Obviously, I picked them. Last week, this was our guest, so I actually did read the book, and I really, really enjoyed it. 5 stars. Tributaries, Essays and Verses Flowing from a Celebrating Favorite Poems by Kurt Lux. So listen to that episode. I think it was really good. Moby Dick or The Whale by Herman Melville. I read it.
Yeah.
And I really liked it.
Now you just got to read it a third time and you
hate it again. First time I read it, hated it. Second time I read it, I hated it and then liked it. And then if I read it again, I'm probably just going to be like,
indifferent.
He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. The mast is supposed to hang at a 98 degree. And then I finished out the year by reading The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Stetson. You sent me a video of somebody talking about it. It's a short story. It's supposed to be the creepiest story ever. Meh.
Yeah.
It was okay. If you like lady talking about wallpaper for 15 pages. That's all it is. And then we have 11 days left in the year, so I probably will finish The Sugar Man by Nicholas Obregon before then. But so far, I'm really liking it.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming I'll finish that before the year. But if not, that'll be my first book of January.
And I had another book that I most of the way through, but didn't get to finish was the Solomon Kane collections. I think I have really what I have left are most of like the unfinished stories.
Right.
But I never actually got done finishing the collection, so I didn't put that on my list either. But I have the majority of that done as well.
So that next year you probably have a couple gimmies.
Yeah.
A couple layups because you would just finish them off. So my favorite book of the year, Spencer, The Long Walk is pretty close.
Oh, okay.
I really enjoyed The Long Walk. Is
it because all the kids shooting?
I love murdering children. I think that's just dandy. I'm an American, so that's kind of a pastime.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately,
this is tough because like it was so
Moby Dick.
Shut your fucking mouth, you fucking fisherman. Spencer loves spermaceti. I want to say Crime and Punishment, but that was like at the very beginning of the year, so it's hard for me to remember. Because that was one of those ones where was like good portions of it where I was like, yeah, Jesus, like, all right, speed it up, you know? So probably not Crime and Punishment, but that might be second. Ulysses was too fucking hard to say it was my favorite, but I did enjoy it.
What about the orchard thing with?
No, that's not there. Confederacy of Dunces is close, but not quite. Maybe All the Pretty Horses. That was really good. That's fucking tough picking a favorite. I don't know if I read anything this year that was just a solid, like, that was fucking super, like, last year I read Suttree, and I was like, that was fucking great.
Okay. Oh, maybe that's what I was getting confused with the orchard thing.
Yeah, that was last year. So maybe All the Pretty Horses or The Long Walk. I think those are the two I enjoyed the most. Future books that I'm going to read. So next year on the docket, like I said, Butcher of Nazareth by David Scott Hamm. Really looking forward to that. I'm going to finish The Sugar Man, so that could be next year, but I'm already reading it, so I can't say it's going to be next year read. The Butcher of Nazareth. Let me look at my to read.
I'm going to say, do you have any more like the big challenging,
I mean,
like the Ulysses and
so I read Ulysses and Moby Dick this year, which was stupid to read both of them. I'm surprised I think that's why I only did 15.
Oh, because that's how you thought
I really thought Ulysses was gonna take me 6 to 7 months. I think it only took 2 or 3, surprisingly. Wait, that's not want to read Spencer. So I might want to read. I would like to go back to Voice of the Fire by Alan Moore. But it's like 60 pages of fucking caveman speak was rough. Like, that's how it starts. So I don't know if I mentally challenged caveman. But I think I could do it now. Me and Mike were talking off air about Stoner by John Williams. It's one of the...
Oh, yeah.
So maybe I'll finally get around to reading that. I don't know. I got a couple Yukio Mishima books. So I'm not going to say... I got a huge fucking thing here, but I never... You know me. I'm definitely going to read The Grapes of Wrath. Reread that, because I haven't read that since high school. And I got a cool edition.
But you don't have any more like the old classic, like huge, like.
I'm trying to think. I was gonna read the original King Arthur tales.
Oh yeah, you were talking something about that.
But I don't know if that would be challenging as much as it might just be boring.
Yeah, okay.
I should probably read like a Les Mis or a Three Musketeers or one of those big ones on my fucking one of them.
Oh okay,
one
yeah.
Of those fucking books.
I mean, yeah, they're just sitting there.
I've been really flirting with the idea of reading Gravity's Rainbow by Pynchon.
Isn't that a
fucking asshole book?
And because like, isn't it big and also like
complicated and yeah. I might do that.
You should read that and then read what's David Foster Wallace's one. Doesn't he have
Infinite Jest? I'm never gonna read that. That's one I actually just do not want to read. I do have that S by J.J. Abrams, which is a epistolary book, which has all kinds of fucking shit. I've been meaning to me and Ashley were supposed to do that as one of those inebriated challenges.
Oh.
I just feel it's going to take too long.
Okay.
Because you have to, like, read it, and then you have to read it again with, like, the fucking margins, and then you have to read all these postcards. There's, like, it's one of those ones made, you read this 20 different ways or something.
Okay.
So I don't know. That just kind of turned me off. I was excited, and then opened it, and I was like, this is too much. Too much. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything hard that let me look up the fucking most difficult books. I feel like I kind of
got a good chunk of them, I would think.
I guess I could read Finnegan's Wake.
Yeah.
If I read Finnegan's Wake, the whole thing, you have to give me money.
They got other?
Yeah, because you're going to talk about me becoming a pompous asshole. If I read that book, literally read it and try to somewhat understand it, I will be...
What about as you read that, I just give you a gut punch randomly just to bring you back down to, like, as soon as you start getting a little hoity-toity, it's just one right in the gut.
I think I would welcome it, honestly. So, if you look up challenging books, Finnegan's Wake is number 1. That's the only choice I have left to read.
Okay.
But it's such a fucking asshole book. Oh, I am going to read The Brothers Karamazov. That's after Nicholas Obregon. Well, I haven't decided because I wanted to read that Jack London. So maybe I'll do the Jack London collection, then The Brothers Karamazov. I don't think both are winter reads. So Ulysses, I read. Gravity's Rainbow, we just talked about. Naked Lunch by William S. Burroughs. I never had a interest in reading
I
that.
don't think I've heard that one.
Yeah. Sound and the Fury, I read that. Infinite Jest, I just said I'd never want to read that. I actually do want to read this one, 100 Years of Solitude by Gabriel Garcia Marquez.
Oh, yeah, I think I heard you talk about that one before.
House of Leaves, I read that. Oh, yeah, I forgot I'm going to reread Blood Meridian and actually read it proper and finish it. I was thinking about doing that next, too, as well. Maybe the late February book, March book, maybe. Moby Dick, just read that. To the Lighthouse, I read that, I think, last year. I really liked that. And The Magic Mountain by Thomas Mann is another one I have no interest in reading. So I almost read all the super hard, so I don't think there's any left that I'm interested in. I'll read Finnegan's Wake for you.
Why is it for me?
You want me to read it?
If it's for me, I'd rather have you read Infinite Jest.
Why?
Just because if you're reading it for me, I mean, I want you to do the fucking most hottest, difficult, like...
I feel like that would piss me off more than Finnegan's Wake, and Finnegan's Wake's indecipherable. Anyway, folks, that's an episode. Next week we'll do our writing recap, which I don't really want to do it. It's a lot.
Well, I got so much stuff I have to talk about.
Some of us submit more than others.
Yeah.
And some of us get rejected a lot more too.
Yeah.
So anyway, some of us also write more. So anyway, folks, thank you for listening. You can follow us at DPW Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Spencer's OnlyFans this week. He's out there in Nantucket again, and he's just being a nincompoop. That's all. Nothing. I don't even know what the definition of that is. Just an idiot?
Yeah. Just sitting on a bench being dumb.
Yeah, a Mr. Magoo that's just wandering off of piers. I don't know. You could also check my stuff out, CalebJamesK.com. The only published work I have on the horizon is my Friends in Hell collection. I have a short story in that comes out next year with Spencer. And I had an acceptance in the page gallery. I was supposed to have a poem come out September.
Oh, and nothing came out?
Supposed to give me money.
Oh.
Nothing. I don't know if they changed their mind on putting whatever special I don't know. Them people, they're a little scatterbrained, it seems. They're always doing stuff, but I don't know. It's all over the map.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to even hold out much hope for that. But that sucks because now I can't really submit that poem anywhere else because it did get accepted.
Yeah.
They offered me money.
Maybe that's what they'd be like, hey, like Serum message, be like, are you going to do anything with this? Yeah. Because if not, I'm going to try to.
Yeah. And even though we'll talk about this next week, I am almost done with the story that I got for Starlight. So that's what I'm going to submit to. Anyway, folks, thanks for listening. We'll check you out next week.